Hello everyone, this is Enzo Eigen, the Alliance for Loki, and I'm so in love with Nico. She's an amazing champion, so here she is again in Alliance War, and she's going to take a lot of different fights. So I bring in Caroline Dean. There's one fight I want to do with her, and she gives Nico another pre-fight, this siphon, where you basically steal their extra power above a bar power. And then it's also a pretty cool, let's see if we can see the synergy for Caroline. There it is right there. So Caroline Dean also gains a synergy. Can I get it? Fine tuning with my fingers, not so easy. Yeah, there it is right there. So her synergy is that if a tech champion is immune to incinerate, it becomes a plasma instead. And so I was thinking maybe using Caroline against Prowler, and he's incinerate immune, but this would have helped a lot, this synergy. Anyway, let's go to the first fight. So this is all path 8 I'm on, and my first fight is against Howard the Duck. And I decide to try out her new ability Siphon just to see what that's like. So this is a rage node where he's gaining fury buffs if you do too much damage, more than 2.5%. And so this plays right into Nico's hands because, of course, the more buffs, the better. I decided not to put on the unworthy, and I'll just build up to my special 2, but I want to see how this siphon worked. I was really curious about this. And so yeah, this fight, again, it's so powerful, Nico's ability to be able to basically deal with any buff. Doesn't matter if they're nullify immune, doesn't matter if they're staggered or fate sealed immune. It's really powerful because it ignores all of that, and not only does it get rid of their buffs, but it turns them all into poisons or incinerates if you put on that ability. And so yeah, it's incredible ability. And so yeah, just building to my SP2, which I can build really fast because every time he gains a buff, I get a little shot of power. You can see now here he's at almost 2 bars of power, but not quite. So watch what happens when he throws his special 1. So he throws his special 1, and then watch his power bar. It drains over 2 seconds, and I get all that power. So that's the siphon ability. So that's a really cool extra ability she has with the Caroline Dean synergy. Here I'm invisible. I keep on here, and I should throw specials in, but I don't. I miss the parry. The siphon gets a little bit of power he has left, so it takes 80% of his remaining power, which yeah, fine. But here, look at this. I'm up to 15 poisons. Crazy amounts of poisons. Did I miss the parry again? I think so. Maybe it's he might reduce defensive ability accuracy. I can't remember. But anyway, this fight is over. So many poisons. So against tech champions with a lot of buffs, Nico is quite powerful. She doesn't care if they nullify immune because it doesn't matter. That debuff really oversees that. Not sure what the right word is. Anyway, so now I have this fight against Adam Warlock, and he's immune to stun. He gets these energized buffs, which you can get up to 10 of them every time he gains a buff. So there's a lot going on with him. And so I was just peeking around the map. I throw in some boosts. I just wanted to try her at full strength. Then I wanted to make sure that it was the right time to use my pre-fight where I put on his debuff immunity debuff, or buff immunity debuff. And so he starts with it because I knew this would be sort of a slow fight. Get the intercept there. I'm trying to get to my special 1 just so I can refresh the debuff immunity or the buff immunity debuff. Oh, it's always so hard to say. There it is. Okay. And he's gaining power from the node. Oh, it's fine. I just go ahead and block this. Look how much adrenaline I have. So I have 86%, but a nice chunk of adrenaline. And so he throws his special, and look, my health is going up. And he throws another special, and he intercepts me with an SP1. So I have 71% health now. And now I go all the way up to 82% or 84%. So 13% health increase because of the adrenaline. The adrenaline is really underrated. He gets to a stasis pod. Notice he doesn't get his regen because he is immune to buffs. And so, yeah, such a powerful counter. Nico is. And so, yeah, wraps up this fight super quick. And considering I took probably 30-40% damage, I finished with incredibly good health. So, yeah, of course, that's the Cosmics are fights she's really tailored to. So this Hulk, I had an interesting decision to make. So this Hulk, it's a node where if you use the same basic attack, he gets a buff on him, which normally would be great for Caroline Dean. That intensity, combat deja vu intensity. The problem is he's poison immune, so I'd have to use my Incinerate pre-fight, and I didn't want to do that. So I go ahead and decide to use Caroline Dean just because I love her too, and I want to play her once as well. So yeah, there's a fight. I guess I could have still done it with Nico, but I'm not sure. Whoops, I just get to the start of this fight. If it would have been it would have been a lot slower and longer, and I wanted to keep Nico's health alive. So anyway, we go with Caroline Dean, just trying to do 2 hit combos here, and I don't know what I was doing intercepting that heavy there. I don't play this fight particularly well, but anyway, there, actually get him in the sunlight and get the long stun, and now I'm going to go running back to my sunlight and just block this, and again get the extra long stun. Now I have a nice big SB2 ready, and I throw it. And yeah, it does amazing amounts of damage. Trying to stay in the sunlight, and there it is. And I blocked that, and her glancing is so good. There, I thought I was in the sunlight, but I guess I wasn't because I tried to throw my heavy and stun him. But so it's a little bit challenging, knowing the edges of the sunlight. But anyway, I throw my SB2, and that's it for him. Super powerful. Is Caroline Dean, and so that was a good and straightforward fight, really quick. Okay, and now we're off to Kashala. So this is an interesting fight again. I'm going to make this a Nico fight. The node is, let's take a look at the node real quick before we go into this fight. So the node is, what is the node? The node has one eye open. There it is. So node, inevitable power. So whenever you gain a power buff, you gain these power charges, make a stand. I think that just has, she's protection unless I knock her down. And so basically, yeah, and one eye open, so I can't really stun her. So I decide to put on this absorb pre-fight. That way I'm getting extra adrenaline as I'm blocking. I'm just basically going to block her and throw my specials and knock her down that way. I'm not going to do much damage at the start of this fight because he has the protection activated, and I don't really have an easy way to get to my heavy. And so, yeah, I'm just going to wait till I get to my SB2. And fine, again, you can see, we can watch the adrenaline. So I'm taking a fair number of blocking damage, but again, my adrenaline keeps on coming up. Here I'm down to 75%, now 72%, but watch after I finish my special, I'm already up at 78%, so 6% health gain. It's a lot. It's a lot in this game. Like, some champions have amazing regen, but it's really underrated how much her adrenaline sustains her. So I intentionally went invisible because I want her to miss her special, which she did. And yeah, now I'm just absorbing blocks. Same thing, just go build up to my SP1, throw that. And then just doing the same thing. So, while I wouldn't say this is an ideal fight for Nico, it works perfectly well. I mean, there's no reason why it can't work. Very safe. Very strong, lots of poisons on her. I mean, I've taken almost no damage. I got my miss again, able to tank a little bit of it. Got 73% health, now down to 71. But again, watch when I throw my special. Now I'm back up to, at the end of it, back up to 80%. So I gain 8% health, and she's just melting from all the poisons. So, I mean, crazy good champion. So good. I don't know if I want to say she's broken just because I'm scared. Scared that might be too much. But anyway, okay, off we go to Atuma. So who would guess? Who would guess that she would be a good Atuma counter? So she's on this little miniature boss island, and Atuma's here. And so he basically, the node is root every 12 seconds, but if I'm far away, he gets rooted. Try and remember what the other nodes are. And he gets regeneration, which means he gets a buff, which is great. And the Purified Slate is interesting because he gets 5 debuffs removed. And so that seems like it'd work against her a lot. Anyway, I want to make sure that she's on the Incinerate because you really want a champion who incinerates Atuma because that keeps his water control, which keeps him from going unstoppable, which is a huge part of his kit. And yeah, so that's the only ability I use. And my goal is sort of a normal Atuma fight and just trying to throw my SB2s as much as possible just to pile on SB1s. And so there he gets the regen buff and of course the pinnacle debuff, which I put on him. I'm going for my SB1, and so he's throwing this, and now I'm going to just stay away from him just so he gets rooted. He's rooted. And now I'm going to go and get to my SB2 and throw that. And see, I have 3 buffs on him. He has a regen buff, And so now I have 4 on him, and so he gets 4 passive and 4 regular incinerates, which is great. His SB2 I'm always scared about, so I just block it. I don't try to punish it or dex it. Okay, back to an SB2, and again, go put all of my buffs he has. He has 3 regenerations, and I have my 2, and so now he has 8 passives, now down to 4, which is fine. Throws his special. I'm gonna again wait for him to be rooted. There he's rooted. You can see his water is really under control, again thanks to the incinerate, so that's a huge part of this. Now he has his SP1 ready, and so I back up, go launch my SP2 again, and you can see, like, you know, I take away all of his waters, which is great, and you know, he purifies all my debuffs. That's okay, because I have the passive incinerate still working for me. Not doing a lot of damage, 184. But I think the more important thing about the incinerates is dealing with his water. And so, because you don't want him to get too much, and here I'm ready for an SB2 again. I back out because I wanted to throw his SB1, because I wanted to try and maximize the time I have my debuffs on him, because he purifies them all with his special. And again, there's 4 incinerates, 3 debuffs. Managed to get a little bit of a cheeky, like, sidestep, interstep, you know, and he's just melting. Just nothing complicated about this fight. Maybe not the fastest fight, but it works plenty well. Again, I'm gonna let him get rooted. Now I'm gonna throw my SB2 just to put the debuffs back on, put the incinerates back on, and take every generation all at the same time. And, you know, it's taking a little bit of damage from the incinerates, and I hit him to kill him, and that's it. And so, yeah, I mean, again, her versatility is crazy. I mean, the fact that she puts on buffs and then can use her debuff immunity and gain effects from that, so powerful, so powerful. And all of her different abilities, it's true you can only use them once per quest, but you know, yeah, each one can have a lot of utility in various matchups. Like, here's a perfect example. So here is Prowler on one of the little mini islands, and so this Prowler, I almost thought about using Caroline Dean. The problem is that she would not do well against the hazard shift. The big thing about this node is the hazard shift, and again, she doesn't have to worry about his incinerate immune, but then she does have to worry about the hazard shift, the poison rupture. And so anyway, fine. But would I go ahead and use Caroline for this fight? The nice thing about Caroline is she has a ability which makes her immune to poison and rupture. That's crazy. It's crazy, especially the rupture. Like, it's the perfect counter to this node. And so now I really don't have to worry. I can't even remember what the other node is on this, but it's pretty inconsequential. I mean, Prowler's still a bit of a tricky fight, and so, you know, he's hard. You can't really parry him too easily, but fine. I'm just gonna use my normal, just play conservative, absorb a lot of blocks, get to my SB2, and then nullify anything that's on him for extra damage. And so yeah, just try and get a couple intercepts in here. Manage to get a little bit of intercept there. I'm ready for my SB2, and I don't want to have too much power because, of course, he steals any extra power I have. And so there it is. I get my first SB2 on. Now, of course, he has to get the poisons on him. And again, they're doing a good job. They're ticking down, just taking away his health. You can see there, it's just going down like 1 every second or so, 1 percentage point. And yeah, I feel like not in too much danger, even with starting with, you know, not having healed at all. Managed to eat an SB1 there. Not exactly great, but shrug it off pretty well. And then back to work, hitting him. And so, yeah, the poisons last a really long time too. I feel like they last forever. And so just ticking for damage this whole time. I'm going to get back to my SB2. Don't have a whole lot of buffs. Really, the only buffs I have on him are my buffs, but fine. It's still going to be enough to add some poisons on him. So I have 4 of my buffs, and I think I put on 4, and I think my nullify 4 of them too. And so that gives me a total of 8 buffs again. And yeah, once again, he is dying pretty quickly, and that's it. And so, yeah, that's the end of this war video. And so, wow, Nico is unbelievable. Takes so many different fights, and really all of them are very, very doable. I mean, granted, I know this is off-season war and people aren't really placing their best defenders. But still, I think having a champion who can do so many fights is incredibly important in war, because this means, you know, I can take a lot of different fights and clear out paths, or, you know, if you need like 2 specialized champions for fights, and having another champion who can do 3 or 4 fights, that gives you a lot of versatility in this in the war map. And so I'm really excited. I hope I'm assigned a lot of Nico in war. I think she is amazing. I mean, I think for a path 8, it'll be interesting to see once we have like the real defenders place and the season starts soon, what she's like. But yeah, I think she is unbelievable champion. I would say I feel like she might be the best mystic attacker now, and I think she might be one of the top 5 most powerful champions in the game. I think that, of course, not a lot of people have her, and to have her as a rank 4 too is even more exceptional. But yeah, she is incredible. So yeah, we'll see what happens when the war season hits, and if she still maintains her usefulness. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you like seeing Nico in action. And yeah, she'll be in the Titan Crystal in like 70 days. So then lots of people will have her. And I think she's going to gain a lot of notoriety as a great champion. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon in another one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.